Hey guys, my name is Andrew from 510 Books. It is Thursday, February 3rd, 2022, and I'm in my warehouse. And I normally talk about things going on with my sale, and I will continue to do that, and online sales, reselling books and media on eBay and Amazon, and I will continue to do that as well. But let's talk about money versus happiness, or does money lead to happiness? I recently saw a video that talked about this topic, and I disagree with a lot of it, or felt that it was too simplistic. And these are some of my thoughts on it. Basically, I feel that money has a lot to do with, has everything and nothing to do with happiness or being happy or feeling happy, for a lot of reasons. But first of all, I would ask you to ask yourself, what is happiness to you? Everyone's going to have a different answer, although some people probably will fall into some general categories. For me, when I thought about it, the things that popped into my head that make me happy, or that currently in my life that make me happy, are my health, my family, and purpose. So, and guess what else? Money. Money itself, here. Money itself, though, does cold hard cash make you happy? When you see this, what does it make you think? Is money equal happiness? Just this green paper with Ben Franklin or whoever else, whatever denomination it is, does that make you feel happy? When I look at money, whether it's cash, which actually is more emotion inducing than looking at numbers on a screen in my bank account. When I look at cash, I feel happy, or I feel comfort, because I know, oh look, I've got this much money. Even if I have to go deposit it in the bank and pay to continue to support my business, i.e. my employee, or to pay for expenses, or buy more inventory, et cetera, pay for my lease, my rent. It makes me feel very comfortable and very happy to see that money. Now, does that mean money equals happiness? Well, in this instance, it does. But in other instances, it doesn't. See, this is not a simplistic conversation. So what did I say? Purpose, family, health. I have my health. Now, what does money have to do with that? Well, it has nothing to do with it, and everything. It has nothing to do with it because money does not directly, that paper does not directly affect my health. However, that money does allow me to pay for things that affect my health, and give me the time to carve out to be healthy, i.e. buy the food healthier food, or the food that I feel will be healthy for me, pay for the gym membership during the pandemic, buy weights because we couldn't go to the gym, have the time because I'm making the money to exercise, go play a sport, run, whatever it is. What about purpose? Well, purpose currently for me, I mean, of course, family is purpose as well, and health, but purpose is growing this business to a point to where I feel that it is a quality, well, I feel it's a good business now, but that it can get bigger, it can get better, it can get more streamlined. The purpose of making something out of nothing, right? As an example with this business. And guess what it does? It makes money, which enables me to continue to pursue this career and this business. And also, you know what? I have other goals beyond just running this business, that will be purpose-driven and will fulfill me and lead to happiness. Two of those are, I'll just throw them out there. I want to be able to write and publish a book one day. And also, I have the goal of directing a movie. There you go. I shared something with you. And how does one get to those goals, which is the journey of getting there, arriving at the final destination, having that sense of purpose? How does one do that? Well, you need money. Current situation. In the current situation that I'm in the current life that I'm in, I need money for that. Why? Well, I need money to have the time to write a book. I need money to have the time to write a script or to try to direct a movie. I need money to pay for the things that will lead to that, which gives me purpose. So does money? Money is everything in that respect. Money is not directly related to me sitting down and writing, but it gives me the time to sit down and write, which I don't currently have, which is why I work hard on the business, so that in the future, whether I continue to own and run the business or whether I sell it off to somebody else, I don't know where this is, where it's going to head, but it would all be leading towards freedom in the sense of not having to work all the time. And guess what? You need money for that. Family. You need money to just be able to spend time with your family. Now, again, let's back up and talk about where we are, right? I'm talking about living a modern life with somewhere to live, with, so shelter. We're talking about, basic things like having food on the table. We're talking about electricity. We're talking about gas. We're talking about water. We're talking about possibly a vehicle, whether it's a bicycle, that's fine, but most people have a vehicle of some sort. We're talking about the modern amenities. I'm not talking about someone living in a commune or someone intentionally living in the woods by themselves. That's fine. If that's your life and that's what you want to do, go for it. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you're going to live in this world and have those basic things that you need, like shelter and food and water, and maybe once in a while going to a restaurant, having a car, paying for the gas, all that kind of stuff, going to the gym, guess what you need? You need money. Does it mean that the money in and of itself will make you happy? No, but the money will lead to happiness eventually. Without it, you can't have those things. Those little green pieces of paper, we've all agreed, the government and all of us have agreed, if I give you this piece of paper, you give me that product or that experience, or you allow me to rent this space, or you allow me to live in my house, or you allow me to buy that car. This to me is basic, but of course we got to establish that, right? So money does ultimately lead to those other goals that I have. I'm not doing that right now, but that will at some point, ideally, hopefully, will become more of my purpose in terms of, switching it up from running this business. Because right now I want to get better at this business. I want to hire more people. I want it to run itself beyond me, and et cetera, like I've talked about. Also, hold on. Goals, define. Right. And, it's always interesting to me that the people that tend to say money doesn't equal happiness are usually people that had been comfortable their whole lives, and have not struggled very much. And maybe they're having an existential crisis, or maybe they went to college, or maybe they read a book and now they want to be a minimalist, or they want to travel and focus on experiences. But you know what? It almost always leads back to needing and wanting money so that they don't have to be worrying about that. Because, at some point you're going to need money. Again, as long as you're not wanting to be intentionally living off the land or not using modern society, being off the grid, excluding those situations, you're living in the modern society on the grid, paying your taxes, all that stuff, you need money for that. You either have to be working currently, you have to have investments that are throwing off dividends and giving you cash. There's got to be money somewhere. So it's typically, in my experience, people that are privileged that never had to worry about money. When you have had to worry about money, whether it was your childhood, whether it was when you were young in your adulthood, maybe you struggled, made poor decisions, and were poor, were just getting by check to check. And if you're able to come out of that, the importance of money. If you go to someone who's barely getting by and you give them an extra couple $100, that money is going to make them happy. The money in and of itself, of course, is not the happiness. It's that they can use that money to buy something they need, pay for something they need, or just save it. And that gives you happiness and comfort. I know it does for me. Knowing that I have savings, knowing that I have money built up just in case there's an emergency, just in case anything happens. that gives a lot of happiness and comfort to me, and I'm sure it does to you and to many people. So it's silly to say money doesn't equal happiness, because it does and it doesn't. What is money? Money is a representation of our labor. Without getting too in the weeds here, it represents, so you worked, well, not always. Don't get me wrong. People win the lottery. People are born with trust funds, inherit money. So of course not everybody always works for money, but the majority of people do. They put in hours, and they worked for it, either hourly, commission, as a business, whatever. They made that money. And so then you can take that money and give it to someone else who wants that money and buy something, buy a product or buy an experience. It's crazy to me to think that it's really discussion. So money is sometimes everything when it comes to happiness. Sometimes it has very little to do with it. But just staring at a pile of cash that you have in your possession, depending on your current situation in life, can be really comforting, and can be really even lead to tears, and can make you feel satisfied and happy. And when you go spend it, maybe you'll even be sad when you spend it, because there it goes, especially if you have to spend it on necessities. But if you save it, you put it in the bank, you invest it in mutual funds, whatever it is, that'll make you feel good too. So to me, happy. You need money to ultimately be happy in this modern world. Back in the days when there was no money and everybody was, carving out their life and bartering, trading, or just stealing. Of course, people still barter, people still trade, people still steal. But those were different times. And we have money now, and whether or not you believe in the U.S., currency and longevity of it and cryptocurrency and all that stuff, by and large, the U.S. dollar is what we're going by. And money is going to bring you more or less that life you want, whether you want to be wealthy or not, or you just want to be comfortable. Also, this whole thing about there was a study done, and if you make over $75,000, you're not going to be much more happier than you were if you made less than it. And if you hit $100,000, then you're just maxing out, you're peaking out at happiness. To me, is ridiculous. Like, if you give, it all depends, right? So if you give someone that is comfortable a little extra money, maybe it's not going to have a tremendous effect on them. But that little bit extra money, could give them some experience or some comfort that they might not have, right? And I agree, if you make $30,000 a year versus 75 to 100, you're going to be more comfortable and have more creature comforts and amenities than if you had less money. But just because you make more money doesn't mean that you manage your money properly. Maybe you blow every cent and you go into credit card debt and you lose stuff, right? Or maybe you manage your money and you invest all of your discretionary income or most of it, and then that makes you feel safe and comfortable. So does Mark Cuban feel happier than me, or than someone making $75 to $100 to $150,000? I don't know. I can't say personally. He seems like a happy guy, but I don't know. I only ever see him, watching his basketball team play or on Shark Tank, just as one example, of course. You can have tons of money and be happy. You can have tons of money, not be happy. You can have a small amount of money, be happy, or be miserable. It all depends. Everyone's different as to what brings them happiness. And I think focusing on, here's the thing, trying to make more money does not mean you can't have a balanced life. Yes, I work hard, but I have to go pick up my kids, right? Because my wife's working, because they're nearby, I can pick them up. I bring them home, help them with homework while I continue to work, and then take them to extracurricular activities like sports and that kind of thing. I can have a balance, but I can also work really hard in those hours that I'm working. Now, if I were to say, I have kids, but I'm just going to pay someone to pick them up, I'm never going to see them, that's not living a good life. It doesn't matter whether you're pursuing more money or not. It's the decisions you make. So I'm probably going to make other videos about this. This is just the stuff that's popping into my head right now. Hold on one second. But yeah, don't fall into this silliness about money doesn't equal happiness. It does and it doesn't. And it depends on your situation. And again, having work-life balance, having purpose, having your health. If you're working yourself to the bone, but you're not taking care of your health and you're overweight and you're just unhealthy, you're eating poorly, you're never exercising, you're just working, that's probably not going to lead to happiness. So I would check yourself, right? And calm down and get some balance in your life. Because even if you hit that goal of however much money, once you get there, you might die from a heart attack, or you might be so unhealthy and so miserable that you're not going to enjoy all of that money and that freedom that you have now created with all this money you've made. So, every situation is different. Tell me what you think. I'm sure I'll get a lot of responses on this, and I'll appreciate it in the comments below. And if you enjoy this kind of videos, although I don't make these particular videos all the time, but I do randomly talk about stuff related to my entrepreneurial journey and whatnot, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Take care.